High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the happy prince. His body was covered in shiny gold leaves, and his eyes and the sword on his belt were ornamented with precious gemstones. From his place on the square, he could see everything going on around him. One cold and windy night, a swallow wandered into the square. The other swallows had all gone south for the winter, but he had stayed behind, for he was in love with the most beautiful reed. He had met her early in the spring as he was flying down the river, and had been so attracted by her slender waist that he had stopped to talk to her.
Shall I love you?
And the reed made him a low bow, so he flew round and round her. This was his courtship, and it lasted all through the summer.
It's a ridiculous attachment. She has no money and far too many relations, and indeed the river was quite full of reeds.
Then, when the autumn came, they all flew away. After they had gone, he felt lonely and began to tire of his lady love.
She has no conversation, and I'm afraid that she's coquette, for she's always flirting with the wind.
And suddenly, whenever the wind blew, the reed made the most graceful curses.
I admit that she's domestic, but I love traveling, and my wife, consequently, should love traveling also. Will you come away with me?
The reed shook her head. She was so attached to her home.
You've been traveling with me. I'm off to the pyramids. Goodbye.
All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Sailing in the square, the swallow saw the statue of the happy prince.
I put up there. It's a fine position with plenty of fresh air. I'll have a golden bedroom.
As the swallow settled down, a drop of water fell on his head. The swallow glanced up and saw that the sky was clear. It wasn't raining at all.
How odd. Where did that drop of water come from then?
Curious, the swallow flew to the top of the statue. When he reached the top, he saw that the prince's eyes were filled with tears.
Oh, why are you crying, Prince?
I am crying because I'm sad.
Why? How could you be sad?
I was once a happy prince, and all my days were filled with joy. Now, when I am a statue, I can look over the whole town. I see so much misery and poverty. Swallow, just take a look at that little house there.
Oh, where?
The swallow looked at where the prince boarded. He saw an old run-down house. A sick child lay on the bed inside.
That child is very ill, but the family is too poor to buy the medicine she needs.
Oh, how sad.
Swallow, would you do something for me? Pluck out the ruby from my sword hilt and bring it to that house. If they sell it, they will have enough money to buy the medicine.
Of course, I will do as you ask.
The swallow plucked out the ruby and carried it to the child's house. The following day, the swallow stayed in the square. He wanted to stay with the prince a little longer. In the afternoon, he flew up to the prince's shoulder to say farewell.
Goodbye, Prince. I'm a far south now.
Swallow, can I ask for one final favor before you go? There is a young man living in an attic on that side of the village. He is writing a novel, but he is so poor that he hasn't eaten anything in days. Can you please take one of my sapphire eyes and bring it to him?
Oh, your eye. Very well, Prince.
The swallow took one of the prince's eyes and flew to the rider in the garret. When he discovered the sapphire, the poor rider shed tears of joy, because he knew he wouldn't starve. The swallow didn't go south that day, but he was very happy. The next day, the swallow tried to say goodbye to the prince once more.
Prince,
I am so sorry, Swallow, but I have one last favor to ask of you. Do you see that girl selling matches in the street? Give her my other eye.
no, Prince, I can't do that. You'll be blind then.
It doesn't matter. Please give my eye to that poor girl.
The swallow took out the prince's last remaining eye and dropped it into the March girl's basket.
Where did this come from? Oh, swallow, thank you so much. With this charfel, I can stay warm this winter. Thank you so much.
Now that the prince had given away both of his eyes, he couldn't see anymore.
Thank you, Swallow. You have helped me very much. I know I have kept you back too long. Please fly south now.
No, my Prince, I cannot leave you alone now. I will be your eyes.
The swallow had grown to love the prince for his generous heart and wanted to stay with him. From that day on, the swallow stayed by the prince and flew around the town, telling the prince about everything he saw.
Prince, I saw some homeless children living under a bridge. They were so starved or freezed to death. Oh.
Please strip some gold leaf from my body and bring it to those children.
Yes, Prince.
Every day, the swallow would strip bits of gold from the prince's body and bring them to those who were ill or in need. As more and more people became happy, the prince's body grew more and more ugly. Winter came, and the swallow could feel his body freezing. One snowy day, he flew up to the prince's face and kissed him.
Thank you, my Prince. You have taught me the true meaning of happiness. Thank you.
As he said those words, the swallow fell to the ground and died.
My poor faithful swallow, you didn't play out and die because of me.
Tears flowed from the prince's empty eyes, and a cracking sound came from deep within his body. The villagers emerged into the square and saw what had become of the prince's statue. They pointed their fingers at him, saying,
Look at that! What has happened to the statue?
It looks dreadful, more like a harmless prince, not a happy one.
This tattoo is making the whole square look rubby. We've got to tear it down right away. We must have another statue, of course, and it shall be a statue of myself.
Surprisingly, after the town councillors had burned the statue, the entire body was melted. Only the prince's heart remained intact. The heart, along with the dead bird, was thrown away in a landfill outside the town. Nobody knew about the touching story of the prince and the swallow, except one. The old baker daily sat in the corner of the road not far from the statue. He was the one who witnessed the whole story. He collected the prince's heart with the little bird's body from the landfill and brought them back to the darklands and told the story to all the poor. He gathered all the people around and started to say,
I'm here to tell you all about a truth that I think you should know.
Then he looked at the seamstress and her daughter.
Do you know where the red ruby come from? It was on the happy race childhood. He wanted to help your ill daughter. And you? Do you know who helped you get over your starvation? The squirrel the prince, who gave you his eye, sapphire eye.
Oh, he is just the kindest prince that I have ever known.
Dear little Machka, the swallow gave you the older eye of the prince. Not only that, the swallow took all the gold on the prince's body, lip by lip, and gave it to each of you. How kind he is! Thanks for him that everyone here has a better life now.
We have to thank the prince for his great helps.
It's too late. Without restless materials, he became bright and early. So the mayor decided to mail him this early morning. The only thing left is his broken heart here. I brought it back from the landfill with the little bird's body. It died that night because of the cold.
How poor they are.
Everyone was touched deeply by their kindness and self-sacrifice. They decided together to rebuild the Happy Prince statue with the bird on his shoulder by stone in the area they live. They buried the bird's body at the foot and put the heart inside the left chest of the statue. They believed that the prince and the swallow would revive inside the statue. All the poor people who was helped by the prince and the bird gave a hand to help complete the statue. When the statue was completed, the seamstress put clothes and garments which she made for herself over the prince's shoulders. His face looked so happy. Then the spring came. People did not know why there were a lot of birds flew around the statue, chirping and singing. The people thought in their mind that these birds surely came to visit their good old friend. The gloomy poor docklands became more jubilant and boisterous. Many people in the town came to see the statue of the prince and the swallow. So the street here was getting busier, the atmosphere was happier, and the people got their lives out of the plight. At that time, the statue of the mayor was also completed. The statue was made in a very large size. It described exactly the surly face and the bulky body of the mayor, and the statue standing right in the middle of the city square. That must be the reasons why no one had a good feeling about the mayor's statue. The people in the city completely ignored the statue of the mayor. They went by and threw trash all around the statue, and did not even glance at it for once. They only wanted to see the happy prince and the little swallow statue, and gave them the best compliments. Sacrifice and selfishness are the two things that decides how much love and respect people will give to the two characters. The happy prince is willing to give his eyes and all the precious materials he has on his body to help the ones who need. Sacrifice that comes from good hearts and charity of the prince and the swallow will surely get back the respect and love from everyone. In contrast, the mayor, who is selfish and arrogant, only gets back the carelessness and isolation from the people in town.